Hey there everybody, Matt Carter here.
And Jessica Carter.
This video is a This Is Us theory discussion for Season 5 that I know Jess and I have been wanting to have for a very long time.
Yeah, it's just taken a little while, at least for me specifically, to be sort of circling around some theories and some ideas of this topic because it is so important to going into Season 5.
Yeah, you gotta let some things marinate here and there, and this is about the subject of the Kevin Randall feud and how to find a way to repair this if it can be repaired. It's one of the most important things about Season 5. I'm not trying to downplay Madison's pregnancy or anything that's going on with Rebecca in the trial. It's just, this is such a huge, just emotional fracture that is there, and I don't know how you fix it.
Yeah, I mean, since Jack's death, this is really the biggest fracture that's coming into the family. I mean, we've got Kevin and Randall are not going to be speaking. Kate, where's she going to land in this? Rebecca, she's losing her memories and going through something incredibly traumatic in her life. And how is this all going to affect her with her two sons not speaking?
This is going to be, I think, one of the most difficult emotional storylines we've been through. Let's all just try to prepare for it now. We've got months, but it's still not going to be easy when it airs. I mean, let's just be honest about it now.
Yeah.
But before we dive in and discuss this further, if you guys do like this discussion, remember to give us a like, subscribe to the channel, and also ring that notification bell so you don't miss any other updates.
Yeah.
So I guess... should I just get the darkest theory out of the way first?
Oh, all right. You go for the darkest one. I'll go for some of the lighter ones that involve Nikki.
Okay, let's go. All right. So the darkest theory that I've sort of thought about here is there are big life events sometimes, or the ways that people sort of look at what's going on between them and sort of recognize that none of this is important and it's something that they should get past. And I think the biggest one that sort of goes into this is a death in the family, and that is something that makes people sort of take stock in what's going on around them. And I'm not suggesting that Kate is going to die in Season 5 and that's going to be what brings them together.
Yeah, but I have seen that theory being discussed a lot, that the idea is going to be that Kate is going to die and it is going to bring the two of them back together again. I also don't think this is how it's going to come together. I don't think she's dead.
I don't think she's dead, and even if she was dead, I don't think they're going to kill her in Season 5. I think we've got a lot more Kate story to tell. However, I am very concerned with Miguel. I am very concerned about the idea, because we don't know where Miguel is in that future.
No.
We have not seen him. He's not a character they've spent a lot of time focusing on. If This Is Us wants to do the whole, see, we will kill off characters thing, that is someone they could do it with, and it's a big enough death that I think it would cause Kevin and Randall to sort of refocus and recognize that, okay, Rebecca now doesn't have that support system. We need to find a way to sort of repair this and get back on the same page together. I don't think it would fix things immediately, but it would be sort of a springboard. A very, very sad springboard, though. I don't want to see people die, obviously.
I don't want to see Miguel die.
I know. It just makes sense. It's just sad, and they don't need to make me sad with it. They make me sad with enough other stuff.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, a death can bring people together. I was a funeral director for a long time. I've seen families come together that haven't always had the best situations going on. When somebody passes away, sometimes it doesn't actually work out like that. And yeah, they'll come together for a funeral or to say goodbye, but then they will go off on their own ways and it won't actually connect them back together. That's why I think that if someone was to die that was going to bond them back together, the main person would have to be Kate. That is their sibling. It is the big three. They would then be the big two. That, I think, would be like, oh my goodness, we're brothers. We've been not speaking. Now our sister is gone. I just don't think that they're going to go in this direction. I'm thinking more that they're going to go sort of in the Nikki, these kinds of characters all doing work behind the scenes. So people like Beth, she's going to be there with Randall, that, slowly but surely, she does have influence with him, that a little by little she might be able to sort of soften him up. Same sort of idea going on with Kevin, that maybe little by little Nikki might be able to soften him up. And that then there could be sort of as Rebecca's getting sicker and sicker, that everybody's outside influence is helping bring them together. Or maybe even like a Miguel as well, to be kind of like, guys, your mom, man, she's really going, into a bad spot now. You guys just need to get it together and come together while she still remembers you both. She doesn't want to remember you like this.
There's a couple of really interesting possibilities in there. And I will actually say, and I know that I'm somebody who just suggested Miguel's death, but my favorite theory is actually that Miguel is the one who brings the two of them together. And I think it's mostly because for a lot of this show, Miguel has been the afterthought. Nobody ever seems to listen to him.
No.
It would be nice for him to be able to do something where the writers give him some value in the story. And I think him being the one to have these conversations, and even if Kevin and Randall don't fully respect Miguel as much as they should, they both clearly love their mother.
Yep.
And Miguel is somebody who will champion for Rebecca. I would be, I think, most moved if he is sort of the one who helps to repair things.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, Miguel has basically been a ghost. We don't know really anything about his relationship with Rebecca. We know, they started back up through a message through Facebook. We've seen a little bit about how his kids are dealing with it. We've seen a tiny bit of animosity from Kevin. But it's like an entire chunk of Rebecca's life that's just missing from the show. They have said there's going to be more Miguel coming up, that they are going to probably be touching on this missing part. And so maybe we're going to be going into a situation where the show is finally going to give us the Miguel that some of us have been wanting, like me, like you. Mm-hmm. And we're going to start to really understand where Miguel has come from in all of this. Maybe some of the guilt or sadness or a conflict inside of himself that he's had to work through to be able to even be with Rebecca at all. Maybe some of the promises that he's made to Jack that he's now trying to fulfill as her husband. We don't know where it's all coming from, but I am pretty sure that This Is Us is going to all try very hard to make us feel for Miguel and where he is. So the idea of him then being here this whole time, seeing everything. I mean, he has been around since Jack was alive. He knows these kids from little wee. So him being the person that then comes around to save these two brothers or bring them back together would be satisfying.
Let's talk about the Nikki idea in there too, because I like the Nikki idea mostly I think from the vantage point that he knows what it is like to be sort of separated from a sibling. He did not have Jack in his life really for many, many years. He knows how painful that can be. And because of the relationship that he and Kevin especially have, I think it's easy in my head to sort of envision that as a possibility. And while I like the Miguel idea a lot, I would not be mad if it did sort of become, okay, Nikki ends up being the one who sort of finds a way to come in here and repair things a little bit.
Well, for sure. I mean, Nikki and Jack's relationship at the end was not in a good place. Jack died. So now, on top of everything else that Nikki's been beating himself up about, now he's probably also been beating himself up about that as well, that there's not really much resolution and he can never get that time back. Jack is gone. Now he's very close with Kevin. Now Kevin is estranged from his brother. So is it a situation then that Nikki being able to relate to it and be like, listen, I didn't speak to Jack for so long and now he's dead. Like, guys, do you really want to go through this as well, where you guys are not going to talk and then one of you is going to pass away and then boom, you're me?
I think it's something that they need to hear from Nikki. I think it's something they would consider from Nikki. He's one of the few people who I think can really pass along this message in a compelling way. Now, beyond just this, there's a few other ideas that I have in my head. I don't think they're as strong as anything we've presented so far, but there is the idea of, okay, maybe it doesn't take a death in the family. Maybe it just takes a very serious life event. Like, let's say, for example, Randall has a much deeper emotional breakdown, or someone gets in a car accident, or someone has some sort of injury that hospitalizes them for a little while. These are things, while not as dramatic as death, that do sort of have people change their perspectives a little bit.
Or the birth of Kevin's sons. I mean, big life events like that. Now Randall's going to have, another sort of, niece and nephew coming into the family. So is that going to soften it up? I was actually also wondering if Randall's kids are going to be playing a part in this, because Kevin is so close to Randall's kids. He's so close to them. And I suspect, or I at least would like to see this happening in season 5, that this is going to affect them. It was Tessa's first coming out was to Kevin. Like, their relationship is super important. I can see it affecting his kids in a pretty significant way, that Randall may end up with a little bit of sort of softening from Beth, be like, okay, you know what? I'm really putting my kids through it.
And it could be a combination of all of these different things where they're getting advice and influence from a lot of other people. And then you just sort of combine it with time. And there's that expression, time heals all wounds. I don't think it's necessarily going to be the only thing that heals things, but I think the further distance the two of them have from it, the more I think they will start to see things in a larger perspective. I don't think This Is Us is just going to have it be like, well, it's been 6 months, let's try to fix this now, because that's not compelling television.
No, I think this is going to be something that's going to play out. The things that both of them said is going to be very difficult to walk back. They both said some stuff. So it is gonna, I think the real situation is going to be that it's going to not only take time, but it is going to take influence from a lot of different people, and at least softening one of them enough to be like, okay, you know what? I said some stuff, bad stuff. I gotta at least try. Because usually in big fights like that, that's how it happens. One person will soften enough to be like, hey, listen, man, I was wrong. I shouldn't have said that stuff, but I did. It's just going to be, well, then is the other person ready to hear it yet? Or is it going to take them more time to soften up?
And I think the other big question that we're sort of left to wonder here is just, how long could this go on the show? And I think we've talked about this here or there before, but to me, I feel like half of the season is a good time. I feel like maybe at the mid-season finale, we'll start to see the beginnings of something healing. I don't need to be depressed watching this for the entirety of season 5, but you need it to be long enough that it matters and you feel the hurt. Because if they fix it in the premiere, it's not really that worthwhile.
Oh, yeah, no, they're not going to fix this in the premiere. And I actually think it's going to last longer than that. I think it's going to last most of next season. And that a lot more of the focus is going to be sort of in the pockets of the family and what's going to be going on. And, Randall's going to be really getting into his family, and Kevin's now going to be a dad, and what's going to be going on over here. And then we've got, Toby and Kate, and they've got baby Jack, and now they're going to adopt him. What's going on over here? And sort of see how that's going to kind of play out more in pockets than necessarily all together, so that by the end of next season, when they all get together, we can all be like, oh.
Yes. And we at least have a little thing to cling on to, and that is the hand on the shoulder in the future. That is sort of our guiding light amidst all of the darkness right now.
Yeah, and we even saw a moment where Kevin's son walks by and is like, hey, Uncle Randall, like, they know each other. So that tells me that this is not the first time that they are meeting up with each other. Randall has seen his nephew, so it's not going to be that long, 10 years in the future, for them to finally work it out.
Yeah, I think they will figure it out before Kevin's kids are really even old enough to start talking. I don't think this is going to last years.
No.
I think it's going to be painful along the way.
Yes.
But we will all get through it together. But for now, let's get your thoughts and theories on all of this. Do you agree with anything we have said? Do you have your own theory? I mean, rest assured, we want to know it, and we want to see what goes down when This Is Us hopefully premieres this fall. If you guys did enjoy this video, be sure to give us a like and subscribe to the channel. And if you do want to support us further, check the link in the description to the store, and we'll see you here next time.